Hi and welcome to my channel. With all the positive energy radiating around the club recently, due to the recent signings of Rafinha, Lewandowski, Koundé, along with Kesse, Pablo Torre, and Christensen before them, I honestly kept fixating on the glaring gap between the quality and depth we have now compared to at left back and right back. However, I care most about the right back position, which is the one I'm going to discuss in this video. I do think that a backup left back would be nice, but I don't think it is a necessity as much as it is a right back. For me, Jordi Alba was our player of the season, and I think he'll be alright for another season. On the other hand, it baffles me that talks about a new right back that isn't Azpilicueta are non-existent. Before talking about players that don't actually play for us, I'd like to talk about players that we already have at our disposal. Serginho Dest. He has not had the best time at Barcelona, let's not sugarcoat it. He is young, that is true, but he hasn't progressed at all during the past 2 seasons he's been here. To be fair, the environment around him hasn't always been the best. We all know how unstable the club has been recently, and one of the reasons why he might not have progressed is his reoccurring injuries. He has been injured a number of times during the past 3 years, which might have stagnated his momentum. However, with all that being said, I personally don't think that his major issue is something that can really be fixed. I think a lot of his flaws are down to mental attributes that are going to need a lot of work if they are going to be fixed. But that's a topic for another video. The other option we have at right back is Sergio Roberto. His situation is a lot more straightforward. He is an average right back that does a decent job every now and then. The same can be said for him in midfield, funnily enough. He is an average midfielder that can do a job. He is not at the level to help us compete on all fronts. In pre-season, we've seen Araujo being played at right back. While yes, Araujo is a top centre back, and I really hope he achieves higher levels this season. And at right back, he has been excellent defensively, very physical, and nearly unbeatable in 1v1. However, his lack of ball playing quality at right back is apparent, which makes me question if he is going to be able to do it for a whole season. He can certainly do a job in a big game against a world-class winger. We've seen it with Vinny before, but tactically, that won't be the most viable option. We've seen him against a team that high presses like Bayern last season. He couldn't simply handle a press. He is not adequate on the ball to beat a press like Bayern's. He got dispossessed many of times, and the ball seemed to stop whenever it goes to him. I just hope Xavi can limit his flaws. If he does see him as a starting right back, which is, that is still uncertain. And finally, the last option that we do actually have is Koundé. Koundé can play right back. He is probably a bit more mobile on the ball than Araujo. But to be completely honest with you, I haven't seen him enough in order to give you a strong opinion on him at right back. But I don't think he's going to play right back anyway. I don't think that we bought a center back for 60 million that we all know is a position that we already need to play him at right back. So I just don't see it happening. So this leads us to the obvious question. Is this good enough to compete on all fronts this season like the club and us fans have ambitions for? As you might have guessed, I don't think it is. It will be a shame if we don't manage to compete due to us prioritizing attacking names rather than opting for more under-radar positions like right back. In general, I have my reserves about our spending recently, but it's a bit of a bigger topic that I'm going to discuss later on. But before I can throw out a criticism like that, let's examine one reason why we aren't focusing on the fullback positions as much, which is the possibility of Xavi planning of playing 3 at the back. This is a thought that comes to my head when we signed Rafinha, mainly. Even though we have a plethora of wingers, Fran Torres, Ansu Fati, Dembele, and did we really need another winger? I'm not denying the quality that Rafinha has, but did we really need another winger? So it made me think. Maybe Xavi had a plan. Maybe he thought Rafinha and Dembele and Des would compete for right wing back, Alba on the left, with any of one of those three having the ability to play there when needed. Another point that helped support my idea was the fact that we were getting heavily linked with Marcos Alonso. Alonso's notoriously bad at defending. I think everyone knows that. That's not true about it either. But we all know he is superb attacking wise. Yeah. So that all these elements made me start to think that maybe the intention was to play three at the back. But then we have one preseason game left, and we haven't played three at the back even once. So that makes me a bit doubtful if we will go down that road. But maybe we'll see. But in general, I'm a bit confused about what is the plan for the fullback positions. And I'm going to tell you why. Let's examine the two potential targets that were linked or are being linked with us recently. These two names are Mazraoui and Azpilicueta. Obviously, Mazraoui has been ruled out since he did join Bayern, and Azpilicueta is, I'd say, likely to join. In the time of recording this video, it still hasn't happened, but we will see. I think Chelsea will drag it on as much as possible, and then he will join. That's just my opinion. Anyway, what really gets me about Azpilicueta and Mazraoui is that they're completely different players. In terms of profile and in terms of how are they going to fit in, it's night and day, really. Looking at their stats from FB Ref, the difference in profile is very evident, especially in ball carrying and dribbling. Mazraoui's head and shoulders better with the ball at his feet, and is much more positive at carrying the ball or dribbling past his fullback. He's also much better at receiving the ball under pressure and receiving progressive passes, while Azpilicueta is less inept at that. His best attributes come in the form of his versatility and experience and leadership. And they are all decent qualities, great qualities actually. But I don't see how he fits Barca's current system. If Xavi intends to use him as a traditional fullback, there's going to be question marks there. I know that Dani Alves did play a bit of an inverted role, but Dani Alves still had some technical ability to him. Does Azpilicueta have that technical ability? If he is even going to play as an inverted right back, then I thought maybe he's going to play as a third centre back in possession to help facilitate ball progression because he is good on the ball, But it's still unclear for me, honestly. My issue is that how can you go from Mazraoui to Azpilicueta? It is a bit unclear. If Mazraoui was your first target and you prioritized other signings, that's okay. But that means that the other option is going to be of similar profile. I'm not completely sure, honestly. I honestly think we can do better than Azpilicueta. I think that for now, Barca's plans at right back are we'll put it dodgy, but we will see. Either way, to close it off, I hope Xavi has a plan. Because again, it would be really, really, really sad if we don't compete because we decided to buy a star striker in Lewandowski, which is amazing, but we need fullbacks. See you guys next time.